Greetings and salutations, people of the internet. Austin here, and I'm once again talking about my Arkham 2019 wish list, though in a different sense. The last few videos, I've been detailing what villains I'd like to see show up in a hypothetical Arkham title that's seemingly being teased. This time around, I'm going to be discussing the two stories I'd like to see adapted into Cold Cold Heart or Harley Quinn's Revenge style DLC expansions, and how I would like to see them incorporated. Without further ado, let's begin with the one story I feel would work best with the supposed Court of Owls game that's being developed, with another Scott Snyder hemmed Batman title, which features heavily the history of Gotham and how it affects their present, Gates of Gotham, in which a new supervillain named the Architect has been blowing up bridges, killing countless innocent people, so Batman and company have to stop this new threat before he strikes again and claims even more innocent lives. Now, I picked this book up a few months ago from my local Barnes & Noble, and I loved it. I loved it in the Court of Owls when it delved into Gotham's history, and I loved it here, and I think combining these two stories, in a sense, would work out fantastically, as I always appreciate good, proper world building, and the Court of Owls and Gates of Gotham are chock full of it. So that cannot go wrong in my eyes. The Architect has a great design, as you can see in the picture I posted here. He has a great steampunk clockwork design that still works in the Arkhamverse. So, I would basically have the story be adapted beat for beat, though you'd have to change a lot of things around. As in swapping Bruce into the Batman role, as Dick was covering for him at the time. Replace Damian Wayne and Cassandra Cain with Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon. And replace Hush with his civilian identity of Thomas Elliot, as it's too early for him to be Hush in the Arkhamverse timeline. Other than that, I think you could adapt the story beat for beat. It would work really well. We could have a lot of detective sequences, which I feel one of the best parts of Origins, even if they were a little bit hand-holdy at times with the red indicator. But yeah, I love the story, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that WB Montreal takes a page out of other game developers' book and have the DLC essentially be its own mini game in a sense. Kind of like Cold Cold Heart was, but bigger and badder. I would actually like to see some side missions featuring other villains that they couldn't fit in the main game. Maybe Lockup, Gearhead, Cheshire. Actually, no, not Cheshire. I'd save her for another game. Magpie. Yeah, Magpie could potentially work. But you get my basic gist here. The Gates of Gotham is chock full of potential, and I think it would be a shame not to see it be adapted in some form or fashion. And with that, let us move on to the next storyline I like to see adapted into a DLC pack. As you can see from the picture here, I have chosen Mask of the Phantasm as the second story I would like to see adapted into a DLC expansion for this next hypothetical Arkham game. Keeping on the theme of history, this time we're not delving into Gotham's history with this story, but Bruce's. Yeah, I think that's something we could really stand to use in the Arkhamverse, as Bruce is generally the same character. Like, he doesn't grow that much. Not saying he has to in some situations, but it would be nice to see a little bit more humanity from Bruce, as I feel he's too monotone and almost robotic by the time Arkham Knight comes around, aside from a few heartbreaking moments for him. But, yeah, Mask of the Phantasm is easily regarded as one of the best Batman movies of all time, and I would agree with that. It's my number 2, right behind Under the Red Hood, but that's here nor there. Like with Gates of Gotham, this storyline would feature heavily with detective elements as Bruce is trying to track down and figure out who this mysterious new vigilante, the Phantasm, is, as they continue knocking off mob bosses left and right, seemingly with no pattern. At first, anyway. But, yeah. I love the Phantasm's design. It is a classic in its simplicity and how well it works. But yes, seeing parts of Bruce's history at least talked about or possibly shown in flashback segments, if they could somehow make that work, would be a joy to see, especially if they detail his first night of crime fighting using the vigilante suit we briefly saw in the Arkham Origins challenge maps. That could be a fun tie-in and being able to reuse that character model, which I thought was really, really good looking for a proto-Batman suit. But let's see, what else? I don't see a whole lot of side mission potential here, and with how this storyline goes about, if they have to bring in the Joker for some reason, maybe WB mandate, this is where you do it, because at least with this story, he actually fits in, and you could have a really climactic three-way fight between the Joker and the Phantasm, depending on how they want to handle gameplay elements. But yeah, the whole final act I could easily see being a playable area before it goes up in flames, and that just... oh, the possibilities with this storyline are just too much to handle at some points. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like if you enjoyed it, a comment if you're feeling generous. What storylines would you like to see adapted into a potential DLC expansion? Alright, and I will see you next time. Have a nice day.